Hey everybody, I'm really excited to jump into Dune Imperium, the board game. This game is just so rich in lore and story. If you're familiar at all with Dune, you've read the book, you've seen the movie, you've seen the documentary about Jodorowsky's Dune, you're excited about Denis Villeneuve's film, like part one coming out, just like chock full of awesome actors, then you're gonna like this, but you don't have to know anything about Dune to play this game. It's also just a wonderful, wonderful strategy game that at its heart is a deck builder and also has wonderful worker placement for each action. And then at the end of the round, you have combat, and the combat works in a way that I just haven't seen before. It's really smart. There are 3 resources in this game. You've got Solari. This is essentially the money in the game. You have the spice. This is a resource that can get you a lot of things, but spice is very rare. Even rarer yet is water. Water is precious. These are the 4 factions in the game. You've got the Fremen, the Bene Gesserit, Spacing Guild, and Emperor. Now, each of these are going to give you certain opportunities for actions if you get cards from the deck to add to your collection, right? This is a deck building game. Everyone starts off with 10 of the basic cards, the simple cards, and these are, again, starters. You want to fill your deck with these other better cards, but here's the mistake I made when I played. I wasn't thinking necessarily about the options on the cards that gave me opportunities to do certain things. And so when I look into the deck a little bit closer, I want to share with you just what you should be paying attention to as you build your deck. You also have your armies. These are these square cubes. And you're going to have your armies down here in this area. Each player has a little circle where they put their troops. And then if those troops are active and you want them to fight this round, you move them into this central area, and you're going to move your marker to show exactly how much strength you have during that particular round. During the conflict where you activate your troops, there are places and prizes for your place. So first, second, and third, you're going to get awarded certain prizes. So it would probably be smart to pay just a little bit to get even second or third place, even if you're not going all in for first place. Now that symbol that you see here, which is the yellow kind of explodey symbol, you see here on the board on these certain tokens that you can actually take and give to certain players. That's your victory point track. You'll see it's over here in the corner. Once your player marker crosses into 10 or more, that's going to trigger the end of the game. And so those are victory points. You need to always keep track of who's getting the victory points and who has the potential for ending the game. Every other place on the board is a position that you could send your worker to. Everybody starts with just 2 workers. One of the things I like about this game is you have too few to do so much. So I always want more than just 2 workers. Now in the beginning of the game, you have your basic cards, and that kind of is okay. But at a certain point in the game, you're going to have better cards, and you want to send out more than just 2 workers. You have the opportunity to pay 8 Solari and go here to gain your 3rd worker. Everybody has a 3rd worker that just sits here until you go to the Swordmaster and you pay 8 money and you get that worker. There's also the Mentat. This is a temporary worker. When you buy it that round, you get it. And it costs 2 Solari, but you also get an Intrigue card. I haven't talked about Intrigue cards at all. They're awesome. Intrigue cards are definitely a part of the game that you should not neglect. But these workers are going to go out to these spaces on the board, and the only way they can go out to spaces on the board is if you play a card that matches the location. So this card says I can go to yellow triangle. I look at yellow triangle. That is the space that I can go. I can go here, 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 or I can go up here in this area. So when you play cards, you are saying, I want to go to this location with one of my workers. And then your card is played for that turn. You don't pay attention to anything that's in the blue area until you've already placed all your workers and you're done placing workers, and then you essentially are passing for the round, and you will gain all of the things that you see in the blue on the remaining cards in your hand. That's really cool. This game is all about strategizing the cards you have, where you're sending your workers based on what opportunities you have to send them to. Maybe I didn't draw the card that gave me a yellow triangle. I can't go to Haga Basin without a card that says yellow triangle. Likewise, I can't go to any of the factions if I don't have a card that lets me go to the factions. Everybody starts with one called Diplomacy that lets you go to any of the four. The other card you start with is Seek Allies, and after you go to one of those factions, this card is done. It says trash, get rid of it. So you're gonna have to draft new cards from the deck into your hand that allow you to go to the factions, that allow you to go out to the desert. As you see here, there's a green pentagon. You have a purple circle. So you have all these cards in your hand that let you mobilize your workers. Again, you only get 2. Or they let you get resources that are listed in the bottom. Every player's also going to start with a character. Now, we played with the basic characters, and it was our first time playing, but I would suggest after playing the first time that you all discuss whether or not you want to play with the advanced characters. I think you'll want to. They give really cool bonuses for the signet ring, but they also have other abilities that nobody else is going to have. So I've talked a little bit about just the general characteristics of the game. I want to just say right now, the deck building quality of this is really complex. So let me talk a little bit about the cards. The cards function in a variety of ways. There's first the cost. You're going to see the cost in the diamond, the blue diamond in the top right corner. That's how much it costs to buy this particular card. Now you can buy with diamonds because you have diamonds at the bottom of your cards. And so you're going to add up all of those points and you're going to be able to buy from the display. There is a public display and you can look at what's available, and when you buy a card it refills immediately, so you can always look and see if there's something else you can buy with the remaining diamond points that you already have at the bottom of your cards. You're also going to take a look at the faction association with the cards, or you're going to see that cards don't have that, and all they have are the locations on the side where you can go when you play the card. Again, that's kind of where I fell down when I was building my deck. I did not add enough factions, and at the end of the game, I wanted to come up here to the Emperor and do one of these actions, and I couldn't because I did not have a card in my deck that allowed me to do this. I'd already played my one card that was my beginning card. And so I really got myself pinned in, you know? I didn't have the flexibility. So all these cards are going to have a location where you can play. And then they also have these bonuses. The Bene Gesserits usually work well with each other. And so if you have other cards in play, you get to do something really cool. You also will have any number of resources that are listed in that bottom section. So if you're not playing a card to go to a location to send a worker, you're going to play the rest of your cards from your hand, and you're going to get all of that stuff. There's a lot to keep track of, but again, I just think it's so smart. And because you only get 2 workers, possibly 3, in a 10-round game, mind you, there are 10 conflict cards here. The game could end sooner if someone crosses into the 10, but you set up the cards with the conflict deck with a level 1, you have 5 level 2s, and then you have 4 level 3s. And so the conflict cards get even better as you go. They have better rewards. The thing that really gets you hung up, though, is that when I go to a location and I do that action, nobody else can go there this round. That's really cool. Player interaction is so high. I mean, it's inevitable that when someone goes before you in a round, they send their worker here and you just say, are you kidding me? That was the one place I wanted to go. Like, I had to go there this turn. And it requires that you change your strategy. I said earlier that water is pretty rare. I played my last game, never once got a water. It's like really hard to get. And when you want to come to some of these places, there are requirements to pay before you get to do the action. And so I definitely would recommend being friends with the Fremen. They give you water. And then Spacing Guild also is going to be a place that you get water, but you have to have a lot of spice to go there. One of the really cool things about Dune is that there are intrigue cards. And intrigue cards are exactly what they sound like. They help you in combat, they help you when you're plotting, and plotting is really just placing out your workers. And they also help you in end game, which gives you victory points for certain trades or certain conditions. These cards should not be underestimated. And if you go into combat with someone who has intrigue cards sitting in front of them, you best be aware that they're probably going to play those cards that help them in combat, whether they add troops, whether they add strength, whether they get bonuses when they win. It's just so dynamic. This has high player interaction, really, really smart choices and interesting dilemmas presented to you with the deck building aspect, but also with the worker placement aspect. Also, really fall into the Dune lore because this is fun, it's flavorful, there's a lot of text and imagery and characters that are just super familiar to those familiar with Dune. But again, you don't have to know it to like it. I can't wait to try the solo mode. I'm really excited to give that a try. The rules are simple and straightforward. There is a deck that you get to use to act as their actions, which again gives you that blocking and that player interaction. It is so fun. I can't tell you how much I appreciated the thinker quality of this game. This had me pausing to make good choices and to make strong strategic choices. And I like that in a game. I like it so much. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think, or if you've played Dune, or if you're excited to play Dune. I'll catch you next time.